Matt the Bat here. Hope you had a good week. Sadly, in the news this week, I think it was either Monday or Tuesday, we got some bad news. Neve Campbell is not returning to Scream 6. This is the sequel to the recent Scream movie. Came out in January of this year. I have two different opinions on this. Good and bad. And I'm going to talk about them. But let's start out with saying Neve Campbell, aka playing Sidney Prescott in the Scream movies. She's been playing the character since day one, Scream 1996. She's been in all of the Scream movies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She to me is the true final girl in horror. Not Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis. It's Neve Campbell, Sidney Prescott. Ever since the first movie, she has proven herself that she can kick ass. And so, like I said, I am of two minds on this. My first thought is, that kind of sucks. Because it is Sidney Prescott. Sidney Prescott is Scream. I mean, yeah, we go into the movies. I mean, we always want to try and guess before the final third act of who's behind the mask. And, and of course we're excited if it's not who we thought it was, and then we're also excited when we do see who it is. So, what is Sidney Prescott? Yeah, you had Dewey, you had Gale, David Arquette, Courtney Cox. But Neve Campbell is the star. She is the main character. She's the one that probably the new Scream movie made so much money, and because they showed Neve Campbell in the trailers. So, that's who people want to see. So yes, on one side I'm like, if you do a Scream movie without Neve Campbell, Sidney Prescott, is it Scream? It is, because you're going to still have Ghostface, but still not having that character is a little bit of a bummer. Especially when we find out, now we've been hearing stuff this week that she was going to be in Scream 6, she was going to be, one report that she was only going to be on set for one scene, and that was going to be near the end of the movie as like a cliffhanger. Now the rumor people, don't stab me. The rumor is that she's going to show up at the end of the movie, the new movie coming out, that they're currently shooting, just started shooting this week, and she was going to get a phone call at the end from Ghostface. Now this would have been something they've never done in the movies before. One of the Ghostface killers was going to survive the third act and continue into the next movie, which would mean something different we've never seen before. Even though that was the original idea for Scream 4, Jill Roberts, who ended up being one of the Ghostface killers, was originally going to survive that movie, show up in number 5, Scream 5, for that trilogy, 4, 5, and 6, back in 2011, and that she was going to go to college, and no one was going to know that she was one of the killers. They were going to bring back Hayden Panettiere, which they're doing that already, but Hayden Panettiere wouldn't have known that Jill was one of the killers, and Sidney is still in the hospital, dealing with her getting stabbed so many times in Scream 4, that no one was going to know that Jill Roberts was one of the killers. And I thought that would have been an interesting idea. So now the rumor is that maybe the end of this new movie that they're going to start shooting, or started shooting this week, that one of the killers is going to be alive by the end of the movie, and apparently the killer is going to kill Gale Weathers. Once again, these are all rumors. Don't shoot me if this actually becomes real. And the killer was going to call Sidney on the phone. Now we're going to see Neve Campbell on the phone, and the killer's going to talk, but it's not going to be the Ghostface voice. is going to be the actual killer, and Sydney's going to recognize the voice. Now, who that might be, maybe it's Stu. Everyone's been wanting Matthew Lillard back since Scream 1. Which that would be a great way to bring back Sidney Prescott. So in a way, I'm like, you know what, if you don't have her in the new movie, bring her back for like the 7th movie, which probably wouldn't be out until like 2025. That would be like a 3.5 year gap since the last time we saw Neve Campbell. That would get people excited. And then if you knew truly promote it as, or market it as, the final time you'll see Neve Campbell. But then let's go on to the other side of the coin. The way they have handled Sidney Prescott in the last movie, I thought worked. Number one, the thing that worked about the last Scream movie was Neve Campbell didn't show up in the third act. Which means about 85 to 90% of that movie, no Neve Campbell, no Sidney. And guess what? It was a pretty good movie. Not the best Scream movie, but for not having your main lead from all the other movies, it worked. Guess what? And also we found out she's married, she lives away, out of state, and she has 2 kids. That means she has finally moved on with her life, started a family. You know, in number 4 we know she wrote a book. So I don't know if she's still doing that. But in a way it says, okay, she's not a teenager anymore. She's not in college anymore. She's not trying to, live in hiding like in Scream 3. In Scream 4 she did a book tour. Now we see her in Scream 5 and she was married, having a family, living a peaceful life. Finally. So I say to myself, we got a conclusion to her character. That's the other thing. Most people like me who grew up with these movies, I'm in my 30s. I should be married. I should have a family, as my parents would say. But that's normal. So, in a way, it's like, okay, and we've grown up with this character, she's at the right point in her life to say, I'm done with this. I'm done chasing Ghostface. I'm done. Leave me alone. So on one side of the coin, I'm like, you know what, if you don't bring Sidney Prescott back, I'm completely okay with it. Because she got the resolution she wanted. She even ended the whole third act at Stu's house, where it all went back to the original movie. So it's a nice bookend to her story. Closure, in a way. And I'm going to mention that Melissa Barrera's character is the descendant of Billy Loomis. And she's a good girl. So, it kind of just closed the book on everything. I mean, so, like I said, if Neve Campbell does decide, if they negotiate and give her the money she wants, which apparently, another rumor is she was going to be on set for 4 days, and they were going to pay her like $2 million, and she wanted more money than that. I don't know about you. If I only had to be at work for 4 days and get paid $2 million, I think I would show up. But that's just me. 4 days of work, $2 million. When do you want me there? But that's just me. I'm not an actor. But, like I said, I am of 2 minds. Would I love to see her back? Of course. Would I be okay if she's not there? Yeah, because not only that, we got 4 characters from the last movie coming back into Scream 6. And guess what? 2 out of the 4 we got to know. The other two we really didn't get to know that well. I want this next movie to really develop these new characters for possibly Scream 7. Not to mention, you're bringing back Hayden Panettiere, Kirby. What has she been up to? You're going to have to reintroduce her to people and develop her throughout the movie. So maybe not having Neve Campbell in the movie gives more time to the new characters or the returning character like Kirby. So, like I said, I'm okay with it. On one hand, on the other hand, I'm like, I wish she returned. Well, she's not. So let me know, what do you think? Do you want Neve Campbell back for Scream 6? I mean, do I have to make a phone call? Hello, Sydney. You need to return. The fans want you to return. But we know you're an actor. And as an actor, guess what? She's been playing this role since she was in her early 20s, late teens, let's say. She's like in her 40s now. Guess what? Maybe even close to 50. Guess what? She's an actor. And guess what actors like to do eventually? Go off and do other things. Play other roles. Develop their acting even more. Try out for the riskier, characters. Try something new, She will always be Sidney Prescott to most people. But as an actor, I'm not saying I'm an actor, but I've worked with actors. They want to do new and other things. Robert Downey Jr. didn't want to play Iron Man eventually. He wanted to try other things. Christian Bale only wanted to do 3 Batman movies because Christian Bale likes to do a diverse amount of roles. Jennifer Lawrence didn't want to play Mystique for forever. In the X-Men movies. Actors like to do other roles besides just one. That doesn't allow them to expand their acting range all the time. So, like I said, on one hand I feel one way, on another I feel another way. Well, what do you think? How do you feel? Do you want Neve Campbell back? Just let me know in the comments below.